Have you ever questioned the influence of media on our society? In Neil Postman's Amusing Ourselves to Death, he certainly does. We embark on a journey through Postman's intriguing examination of the media and its impact on our lives. The first chapter, fittingly titled "The Medium is the Metaphor," reveals the underlying premise of the book. Postman posits that the form of the media we consume doesn't just deliver information, it shapes our understanding, our perception, and our interaction with the world. Postman's argument isn't just about the content that media delivers, it's about the form it takes. He suggests that the medium through which we consume information influences how we interpret, understand, and respond to that information. It's not just the message that matters, but the medium itself. Consider television, for instance. Postman argues that television as a medium is fundamentally transforming all aspects of public life, education, politics, religion, into entertainment. He suggests that the influence of television is so profound that it's not just changing how we perceive these facets of public life, it's actually reshaping them. Education, once a process of thoughtful inquiry and intellectual growth, is now a spectacle of flashy graphics and quick facts, designed to entertain rather than enlighten. Politics, once a discourse on policies and governance, has become a battle of charismatic personalities and catchy slogans. Religion, once a solemn and introspective activity, is now a televised spectacle with celebrity pastors and theatrical sermons. In Postman's view, television doesn't just serve to inform or entertain, it dictates the way we see the world and how we interpret the happenings around us. It isn't just a tool for communication, but a force that molds our culture and shapes our collective consciousness. And so, television isn't just altering our perception of these aspects of public life, but rather, it is dictating their form. Moving on to Chapter 2, Media as Epistemology, Postman delves deeper into the impact of media on our knowledge. In this chapter, Postman presents a compelling argument that different forms of media favor different kinds of knowledge and, by extension, mold our perception of reality. To get a grip on this concept, let's consider the idea of media as a lens through which we view and interpret the world around us. Like a lens, media can magnify, distort, focus, or blur the raw data of existence. Now, Postman zeroes in on the shift from a print-based culture to a television-based one. In a print-based culture, information is sequential, logical, and demands an active engagement. Reading a book, for instance, requires focus, deduction, and imagination. It encourages us to think critically, to question, and to explore the depths of our intellect. On the other hand, television, the emblem of our current media culture, provides a completely different experience. It's a passive medium that delivers information in a non-sequential, image-centered fashion. The narrative is often disjointed, favoring emotional appeal over logical coherence. It's about showmanship, not depth. It's about the spectacle, not substance. This shift, Postman argues, has had profound effects on our capacity for critical thought. Television, with its rapid-fire succession of images and bite-sized information, doesn't leave much room for contemplation or analysis. It's all about the now, the immediate, the easily digestible. There's no need to ponder, to question, or to delve deeper. Just sit back, relax, and let the images wash over you. Television, according to Postman, has made us a passive audience seeking instant gratification, rather than active participants in the pursuit of knowledge. This shift in media culture, he suggests, has resulted in a decline in our collective intellectual vigor. We've become spectators in our own cognitive development, content to be amused rather than inspired to learn. Chapters 3 to 5, encapsulated under Typographic America, reminisce about a society dominated by the written word. It's a fascinating journey back in time to an era when typography was king. Neil Postman, in his book Amusing Ourselves to Death, reflects on this period with a certain fondness and nostalgia. He paints a picture of a society where public discourse was shaped not by sound bites or fleeting images, but by the written word, the printed page. The significance of typography was not merely about the medium, but about the profound effect it had on the minds of people. It encouraged logical thinking and fostered a depth of understanding. People were not just reading words, they were engaging in a dialogue with the author, contemplating ideas, forming arguments, and making judgments. The typographic culture was a culture of rationality, reason, and intellectual rigor. Now, contrast this with the present, where television, with its emphasis on visual spectacle, has become the primary source of information and entertainment. The written word, with its demand for concentration, analysis, and reflection, has been sidelined. Television, with its rapid-fire succession of images, its emphasis on the sensational and dramatic, has changed the way we perceive and process information. In the world of television, the image reigns supreme, the context is often lost, and the space for reasoned debate is squeezed out by the relentless quest for ratings. The complexity of issues is reduced to easily digestible sound bites, and the emphasis is more on how things are said rather than what is being said. This shift from a word-centered to an image-centered society has profound implications for our public discourse. Postman argues that this change has led to a dumbing down of our public conversation. The thoughtful, reasoned debates of the typographic era have been replaced by the shallow, sensationalist chatter of the television age. The depth of understanding, the capacity for critical thinking, the respect for reason and logic that were the hallmarks of the typographic culture have been eroded. In Postman's view, the rise of television has led to a decline in the quality of our public discourse. In chapters 6 to 8, Postman takes us into the age of show business, where television reigns supreme. The television is not just a medium, it's a stage, a platform for spectacle. In this age, Postman argues, we're all just players in the grand theater of show business. Television, with its emphasis on entertainment, has turned our world into a continuous performance, where the spotlight isn't on substance, but on showmanship. This shift, according to Postman, has led to the reduction of everything to the level of show business. Politics, education, religion, they're no longer serious affairs, but entertaining spectacles. They're no longer about the depth of thought, but the breadth of the audience. Take politics, for instance. Once it was about policies and principles. Today, it's about personality and charisma. Candidates are judged not on their stand on issues, but on their stage presence. The political arena has transformed into a television studio, where the one with the best performance wins. Similarly, education is no longer about the pursuit of knowledge. It's about the pursuit of ratings. Schools are becoming stages, where teachers are performers and students are spectators. Education is being packaged as an entertaining spectacle, where the value of learning is measured by the applause it receives. Religion, too, hasn't been spared. It's been repackaged as a show, complete with charismatic leaders, dramatic narratives, and high production values. The solemnity of faith has been replaced by the spectacle of performance. All these changes, Postman argues, are not without consequences. They're eroding our ability to engage seriously with important issues. They're turning us into passive spectators, amused by the spectacle, but detached from the substance. For Postman, we are indeed amusing ourselves to death. As we wrap up, let's reflect on the key takeaways from amusing ourselves to death. Neil Postman's insightful book delves into the transformation our culture and discourse have undergone due to television. He asserts that television, with its emphasis on entertainment, has turned even serious matters into shows, consequently affecting our perception of the world. The first key takeaway from the book is the concept of the medium is the metaphor. Postman argues that the form of communication, not just the content, shapes our understanding of the world. Television, with its visual and instantaneous nature, promotes a discourse that is less about reasoning and more about appearances. Then we move on to media as epistemology, where Postman explores the idea that different media foster different forms of knowledge and understanding. He points out that the shift from print to television has led to a decline in rational discourse and an increase in the importance of image and emotion in public discourse. In typographic America, Postman takes us back to the age when print was the dominant medium. He posits that during this era, public discourse was characterized by a high level of rationality, depth, and seriousness, a stark contrast to the present age of television. The Age of Show Business section offers a critique of how television has turned everything into entertainment. Be it news, politics, or education, everything has become a show, diminishing the seriousness and complexity of these matters. The implications of Postman's arguments are profound. They compel us to reassess our understanding of media and its influence on society. We are urged to question the ways in which television, and by extension, all forms of media, shape our perceptions, thoughts, and actions. The question then remains, how can we navigate this media-saturated world without amusing ourselves to death? That's a thought for us to ponder on.